Hey everyone, it's Chris with HotShotsCatering.com, and this is another episode of Hot Shots TV. And today's episode is going to be about the battle of the K-Cup brewers, and we're going to start with the Mainstays K-Cup brewer versus the original Keurig, the K-Mini. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. And welcome back. So if you've been watching and following along this channel for the last at least couple of episodes, you've known that I've purchased this from Walmart. This is a single serve Mainstays coffee brewer that takes K-Cups, but it also brews regular coffee in it as well. And I've already given you a pretty good understanding of my personal opinion about it. If not, you can check in the description box and see the original video about this single serve brewing unit. But today we're not going to be talking so much about this one. We're going to be putting it off to the side here. But instead we're going to be talking about Keurig's K-Mini. Now, I believe this is one of Keurig's newer machines. I actually purchased this guy at Target around $50 around the holidays on sale. Actually, I think it was a Black Friday sale. And normally this unit goes for about $85, maybe even $100 nowadays. But you could definitely check it out. And I thought, personally, it'd be a closest representation and a good starter to compare to the Mainstays unit that we've been using, and just to see kind of what it's all about. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do an unboxing. We're going to check it out. We're going to take a look at it and then kind of go from there. We're going to do some tasting and see how it really compares to the Mainstays single serve coffee unit. So guys, as we open this unit up and we start taking a look at it, I first want to explain to you that this is not a paid review. I actually went out and purchased this unit myself. So I always like to be clear and transparent before I start doing these reviews and opening this stuff up. So let's dive in it, shall we? So we open it up here. Got a lot of cute things on the front. Thank you for choosing Keurig. That's always nice. And they strive to provide excellent customer service. So there's even a 1-800 number on there. That's very nice. We also get kind of looks like a little starting manual, of course. We want to know how this thing works and how to put it together. It seems like it's one single piece, which is pretty nice. Nice little crate here. Wow, really simple. Nothing too difficult about this unit. And I can already tell it definitely feels solid. If you're looking at that or have looked at that Walmart review of the Mainstays brewer that I have over here, that was one of my first reactions, is the thing didn't seem very, very solid and put together. Well, that's pretty much it. Other than a little bit of tape, it looks like it's pretty much all put together. I will say it's definitely nicely designed. Got some basic tape here to hold in the drip tray. Looks like some basic tape on top here. This is where actually your water goes, which is very interesting because I think it's probably about the same size as the single serve brewer from Walmart. It's just a different approach to how you actually put the water in. This is actually a nice little clear reservoir, and it has all of the number markings right on the outside of it, which is really nice. So you can actually see without even lifting it up what you have. Power button's gonna be here on top of the unit. Let's just open it up here as well. Very similar to the Walmart brewer as far as just overall layout. Which in all honesty, it was probably Walmart that copied Keurig. So let's take a look here at the wiring on the back. I do like this. This is actually where you put your wire away. For instance, if you're gonna use these things, I think these things are great, especially if you're gonna travel. And this looks like the wires just come straight out the back. So nice little cool compartment here on the bottom to kind of tuck and hide your wire away when you're done with it. But that's a pretty simple unboxing, if I say so myself. Wasn't really anything, there's not a lot of things to this, to be honest with you. Everything is right here. I don't have to worry about little handles or cups or anything else. Now this doesn't look like, oh, maybe it does. Okay, so this comes out, so maybe you can put another adapter if you wanted to fill it with a mesh tray or something for coffee, whereas the Walmart unit actually came with that, which is kind of interesting. But you know, we got the unit out, we got it apart, we got everything together, I guess I should say. Let's take a look and let's see how it brews. I'll bring the other one in here and we can kind of compare the two. All right, so let's compare these two, shall we? So both of them are pretty much identical as far as the way they almost look and how they perform, I'd imagine. But let's start with actually where you put the K-Cup pod inside, the cup itself. So this one, as I said, this can be changed out. You can either have it for the K-Cup as it is now, or you can actually use the wire mesh and then put your coffee in it, which I think is kind of cool that it comes with that. This one does not come with that. Now, if you are a Keurig fan, I'm sure that's not a big expense for you. And based on what we find out here in the taste test, it probably is a simple buy and probably not a big, you know, factor if you're gonna buy this one over the other one. This one overall, like I said, always felt kind of cheap. This definitely feels like it's a solid build. This even comes down with a little bit of pressure. I'll put it down into place. I will say, when looking at these, both of these have single pins and then also single pins in the bottom. So when you put your K-Cup in there, it's actually gonna, visually, it looks like it's going to brew exactly the same. Now, obviously when we do the taste test, we'll also find out how true that is. But I just wanted to point that out. I was personally thinking that the Keurig machines had maybe a couple pins or something else different, but quite honestly, the way they're set up and designed, they're pretty much identical. So we'll see that in the brewing, if that really makes a big difference. Power button on top here, power button, and as well as if you're gonna do the coffee, single coffee brew is on the side on this one. As far as drip trays go, this one here, kind of, the thing I don't like is this drip tray kind of feels a little chintzy, a little cheap, and it seems kind of like iffy to try, just like me lifting it, it's popping out here. But I will say, you know, this should be fine for anyone that, you know, the cool thing is that it comes out and your travel allows you to use a travel mug. If you had a big travel mug, that can be right here, obviously, to brew coffee if you're on the go. And then if not, you can obviously put this back and then it's actually more of a tray for your 6 ounce, 8 ounce, and 12 ounce ceramic coffee mugs. This one here is supposedly very similar, has a smaller drip tray as far as how much fluid it can probably hold, and then it has another area for travel mug. I would say if you're a travel mug person, you know who you are, probably running out, going to work, you're gonna use this that way. If not, then you're probably never gonna mess with either one of these, so it's probably not something to dive into in detail. As far as the back, let's look at the back of both of these units. The power, the actual wire, this one for the Keurig actually can be folded up, as you saw it when I did the unboxing, kind of be folded up and then can also be pulled out, which is great if you're gonna go travel with it. You don't have wires hanging around. Obviously, the Walmart Mainstays one doesn't have that option. And then lastly, of course, the Reservoir. This Reservoir you can't see in other than when you're looking on top. It's kind of awkward too when you're pouring water in there trying to match up with what you need. That's really the only gripe I can say about that. This one's nice because you can fill your water, you can see it. It's probably easy to pour and see how it's coming up to the lines here on the outside. And then also if you're gonna do a single brew or whatever, you might even have some extra water in there to do for your next brew. So anyways, that's pretty much it. Let's go on and see what these guys produce, what kind of coffee they produce. I'm gonna guess, right, first and foremost, that's probably gonna be the same, but who knows? I could be very, very surprised. Temperatures, remember, are something that could be a factor, as well as the power and the pressure of how it's brewing, all that type of good stuff. So anyways, let's get into the tasting. Okay, so before we get to the tasting, I did want to say, if you have not subscribed yet to our channel, please, please, please do so. And if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. If not, hey, give us a thumbs down. But if you're gonna give me a thumbs down, let me know why. I also want to say, if you are interested in a gourmet coffee experience, maybe for your event, your party, your corporate company, or perhaps even your very own wedding, please let us know at hotshotscatering.com. Check us out there. If you are just interested in coffee, you know, definitely follow us on this channel and subscribe. I think it's gonna be very beneficial for you. And together we're gonna learn more and more about coffee and learn more and more about machines, equipment, different people in the industry, as well as different companies that are there to serve you with coffee. So other than that, let's take a look at these two coffees. I literally just brewed them. I will say I actually did a thermometer test on both these, and they both registered at 165. This is a very good thermometer, by the way. It's a thermopop, so it's very quick, registered quickly, and they both were exactly at 165 as soon as they finished brewing inside the cup. I also preheated the cups, not really to a temperature, but just out of the sink faucet, hot water, preheated them up a little bit, just to make sure that we'd have even registered of what goes into these cups. Also, wanted to let you know about the brewing on these things. It's very interesting about how much noise they make. Now, most of you guys won't really care about that. It's a coffee brewer. We know it's going to make noise, but through my looking and research, when I go on Amazon and I look at coffee machines, espresso machines, all that, typically somewhere in there, one of the reviewers is going to say something about noise, whether they liked it, disliked it, or what have you. So this one makes noise the whole time it brews. I will let you know that for a fact. And it takes a little bit of time, probably a little bit longer, but not much longer than the Keurig as far as brewing that single cup. This guy here makes noise at the beginning, then it's quiet, and then it makes noise at the end. But both of them register probably about the same decibels of how much noise they make. And to be honest with you, it's just like your standard cup of coffee brewer, nothing out of the ordinary or anything like that. And I will leave that at that. So let's start with the Keurig. Let's just take a taste here. Now, by the way, the coffee I am using in both of these units is the same. It's the Bulletproof coffee that, if you haven't seen that video yet, check it out in the description box below. But we just did a review over the K-Cup Bulletproof coffee. It's one of my favorites that you can get off the shelf right now, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Tell you a little bit about the owner and how they created that coffee. So now this isn't a coffee review, but just to kind of see what kind of tastes I get, let's try this one. It's very interesting. So, unless something's weird, and this is, we can brew these all day side by side and see what difference. I will say the Keurig has better extraction. Now, the reason why I say that is I taste more notes out of this cup than I do the Mainstays. It's not much, but I definitely get a little bit more acidic. I get a little bit more flavors that kind of hit my taste buds out of this Keurig unit than definitely this Mainstays Walmart brand single serve unit. This one's a little bit more almost like watered down. Now, the other thing I'll tell you too, I put the exact same amount of water in these, so it can't be the water. It has to be something in the brewing process, and for that, I give the Keurig a win. I literally just taste a little bit more flavor. To you, maybe it might not make that big of a difference, but extraction is definitely important if you want to get the best bold flavors out of your coffees. I would say Keurig so far in this comparison has nailed it. Other than that, you know, we've gone through what these machines look like. We've gone through everything else. They're pretty identical side by side, but I'll tell you really, when it comes down to the taste, this Keurig unit is definitely a little bit better than this unit. Temperatures are the same, the looks are pretty much the same, the way they brew is almost exactly the same from the visual standpoint of it, but there might be a better heating insulator or pump or something in the Keurig that is actually just giving it a better extraction. Also, the needles are they're in the same place, but they're designed a little bit differently. That might have some aspect of it as well. But other than that, that's going to conclude this video for us today for Hot Shots TV. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.